I'm David Armstrong with wealthmanagement.com. We're here at the Horizons inaugural wealth planning event in the American College for Financial Services. I'm here with David Allison from C2P. Thanks very much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So most advisors I think here know that tax management is probably an important thing to have in their toolkit, certainly to attract a higher net worth client. But they have a harder time, I think, sometimes integrating tax planning into a practice as a workflow. Any tips you have for how advisors should approach that?
Yeah, I think there's a couple things. I mean, the first thing is just, creating structure around your client service experience that you're going to be delivering. I've seen that, of course, a lot of advisors have a routine process for how they do annual investment reviews or financial planning reviews with clients, and we've just layered tax planning and tax management as an additional review for those clients that need that service. So, for example, we might do our financial planning and investment review in the first quarter of the year, and then in the third or fourth quarter of the year, we create an agenda around talking about tax planning and tax management. So just by the nature of having clients come in, have it on the agenda, look back at what's happened so far throughout the year, it gives the advisor the ability to have those types of meaningful conversations on proactive tax management that might need to happen before the end of the year.
I think clients are looking for a different kind of guidance. The advisors that you talk to, or when you're out there talking to clients, other advisors, and who are doing this successfully, what do those discussions look like? How are they talking about this sort of stuff?
I think, clients, specifically more affluent clients, they want somebody who's proactive, not reactive, right? They want somebody who's proactively bringing ideas to that client and to that family on how they could potentially mitigate taxes, not just now or each and every year, but really thinking about the lifetime taxes of the family. I mean, for most people, taxes are their single largest expense, and it's not just when they're working and accumulating, it's when they go to retire. Taxes can take a big chunk out of your retirement income, and then ultimately for some clients when they pass away and transition their wealth to their family or their beneficiaries, there could be more taxes imposed on the beneficiaries on that wealth transfer. So, taxes are everywhere, and I think, clients are just looking for more proactive ideas on how they could protect what's taken them a lifetime to accumulate.
Sure. You say often that not all money is taxed the same. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so if you think about it, there's thousands and thousands of pages of IRS tax code, and it's insanely complicated. I mean, most competent tax attorneys even struggle with interpreting some of the tax code, and it all really comes down to those 7 words: not all money is taxed the same. And you hear these stories of the ultra wealthy that have figured this out. I mean, there's a reason why, sometimes you see these CEOs of massive companies, they don't take a W-2 salary. Well, they don't take a W-2 salary because they realize they'd rather have stock. Capital is taxed more preferentially than ordinary income, just as an example. But you could take those same principles and relate it to almost any client that you're working with, helping them think about what types of assets they should be accumulating, what types of accounts they should be accumulating those assets in, how they should be saving in the order of saving, how they should be taking distributions so that ultimately they could maximize their income and minimize their taxes. And we don't want to avoid taxes. Of course, tax avoidance is illegal, but most clients, they just don't want to pay unnecessary or avoidable taxes. And really that's that whole idea of not all money is taxed the same, and helping families navigate those decisions.
How do you think about bringing those conversations into a planning session with a client and explain this stuff in easy to understand terms? I know you have some frameworks that you use.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. And, I've seen time and time again, whether it's sitting down with the client talking about financial planning, retirement planning, investment planning, tax planning, and tax management, a confused mind takes no action. And so you really need to try to simplify these more complex ideas that sometimes can be not very intuitive, right? Like a lot of clients think, well, I should defer on paying tax. Some of them might not realize, well, maybe it makes more sense for your family's financial future to accelerate and pay some of that tax now. And so we've tried to create simple visuals. I mean, we've all heard the saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And so when we could explain some of these concepts, like just a quick example of that is when we talk about the tax brackets themselves, most of the time if we Google the tax brackets, you're going to see a chart that comes up with all these numbers on it. And it's confusing for a lot of people on how that dynamic pay-as-you-go progressive tax system works. And we've tried to simplify that visual into like a measuring cup, something people use every single day as they're baking recipes in the kitchen. And the tax system works very similar to a measuring cup. You pour water in, it fills up to the lines, those represent the brackets, and as water goes over those lines, they're into that next higher marginal bracket. And so there's ways to dump some water out of that measuring cup. That's deductions or exclusions from income, things like contributing to a 401k, deferring income, not realizing capital gains. And in other cases, we want to accelerate income and fill up that measuring cup a little bit more. And so trying to just use analogies and visuals is a big way to help get the client's mind organized so that they can actually go ahead and take action.
Dave Allison, C2P, thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.